Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's our Manchester United versus Hull City preview for the League Cup semi-final. Get excited. This is the one we want. This is the one we want to win. The League Cup. It isn't really. It isn't. But it's a nice thing to win. I will admit that. And we look forward to it. And we are going to go to Wembley. And I will be talking about the team news. But I just want to say very, very quickly that this epitomises the rubbish we get fed as football fans these days in relation to, it's sort of been building up. If you're on Twitter, you've got the misfortune of being on Twitter, I quite enjoy it. There's mediocre journalists been releasing all day. Big news tonight to be revealed. Manchester United, Real Madrid and Barcelona chase £100 million star. Big news, stay tuned. Ooh, loads of people speculating. I said at midday, it's going to be a load of crap. And what is it? A load of crap. Dele Alli. Dele Alli. And in other news, the sky is blue. And in other news, humans have discovered to have heads. I mean, Manchester United, Real Madrid and Barcelona would like to sign Dele Alli. I mean, God, this is just what epitomises what is wrong with the media today. They are so desperate. There are so many people chasing click-through rates in relation to newspapers that they are mugging fans off with crap like that. Manchester United would like to sign Dele Alli. Well, bloody hell. Bloody hell, what a shock that is. What an absolute shock. I'm so glad we all were waiting for that brilliant bit of news. I bet you went to bloody Polytechnic, if anyone can remember that, to get your journalism degree in that. Clowns, rubbish, absolute waste of time news. I told you it would be, but just ridiculous. Manchester United want to sign Dele Alli. I wish I'd thought of doing a video about that. It'd be a really, really insightful video. I mean, Dele Alli is a fantastic player. I was talking to Utd Devil just before we came live. Dele Alli, Pogba, stick Bakayoko in there. Let Dele Alli and Pogba run riot. Brilliant midfield. But it's not news. It's not. Manchester United want to sign Messi. Yeah, well, it's just not news, is it? And as Anthony Evelyn says, they're not going to let him go anyway. Sorry I was a little bit late if you're watching the live stream. I sort of complimented. I've been running late tonight. I was out for a few drinks after work and I was running late and I was thinking, I really want to do a video on money in football because it's a big issue at the moment. So there's a link to the video in the description. I'm going to do it off my own channel after this one at 9 o'clock. So that's why I was slightly late, because I've set that up. I decided, I am going to do it. But it's Manchester United versus Hull. That is the preview show. That's what we're here to talk about. Mourinho's Martial snub to continue is the question mark in the video description. Yes, I think it will do. This is a trophy that Mourinho has taken very seriously from day one. Some of us disagree with it. I certainly do. Some of us think it's fantastic. We've not used the youth. We've not even used a couple of youth players in the League Cup. I think it's a missed opportunity. I'll openly say I don't like Louis van Gaal as Manchester United manager, but if you want to compare the two, Van Gaal will use youth. Mourinho won't. I would have used some youth in this tournament. No way that's going to happen now. We're not going to do that. He's going to pick a team. He's going to pick a strong team, even though we're 2-0 up away to a team that probably couldn't really give a damn about this because they're more worried about their Premier League survival. They played quite well against Chelsea, if you saw it at the weekend, Hull. But they'll have a go. But they're 2-0 down to Manchester United. And we've got a massive squad. We should use that squad. We can comfortably win this. What will actually happen is we'll pick a very, very strong team against Hull. We'll get the game won. And then we should hopefully use some of the fringe players against Wigan at home in the FA Cup on Sunday, because Wigan are fourth from bottom in the Championship and they're rubbish. And then we've got Hull again at home next Wednesday in the Premier League, where we'll play the first team again and get 3 much needed points. So team against Hull, I think we're going to put De Gea in goal. I think Valencia will be right back. I think it'll be Jones and Rojo if he's recovered from illness. Rojo. I think left back, take your pick. I don't think he'll play Shaw. I think it'll probably be Darmian. And midfield 3, I think he'll play Carrick. If he doesn't play Carrick, what's going on? I mean, you didn't play him against Stoke, so you must be resting him for this major cup semi-final. So Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, Zlatan up front, Mkhitaryan on the right, and maybe he'll put Rooney on the left. I don't think he can play Mata and Mkhitaryan again. He might chuck Lingard in on the right and put Mkhitaryan on the left, but it'll be a very strong team. We'll win it comfortably, and on Thursday night we'll be celebrating going to Wembley. Copite Kieran says Hull 4-0. No, that's not going to happen. We will win this game comfortably. I've got no concerns about that, and we'll be going to Wembley, which is a fantastic thing. Some people are saying, you're being a bit cynical about Mourinho and the League Cup. I'm a massive fan of Jose Mourinho, as many people know. However, I'm not a massive fan of the League Cup. I think it's the lowest priority we should be looking at. You win the League Cup, you don't get into anything. It's the worst trophy in the Premier League, in the top flight. I'd have much rather had 2 points at the weekend, but that's history. We've got a game in front of us. We win it. I'm sure we'll beat Wigan on Sunday, and I'm sure we'll beat Hull next week. So we're looking at 3 wins in a row, which will elongate this unbeaten run, which is a positive. But if I'm being totally honest, I just think the League Cup has been a wasted opportunity to use youth, but also some of the fringe players as well. I'd love to see Luke Shaw play on Thursday and play half a game on Sunday. The same with Anthony Martial. The same with Schweinsteiger. I don't learn anything watching us play our same first strong 11 in a League Cup semi-final or League Cup game in general. But we will do, because Mourinho is obsessed with the League Cup and he wants to get a trophy under his belt in the first season, so that no matter what happens, he can say, I won a trophy. Where you rank that League Cup is up to you. I personally think fourth place, third place. Well, no, third place is better than fourth place. I think fourth place in the league is better than the League Cup. The League Cup doesn't mean a hell of a lot to me. Really doesn't. It didn't even when I was a kid. It was the third-rate trophy. FA Cup, I'll argue for that. It's a domestic cup. It's the best domestic cup. It's got history. I like the FA Cup. The League Cup, I want to win it now with this far in it. And to be honest, the most exciting thing about the League Cup for me is that I hope Liverpool beat Southampton tomorrow. I'm not one of them people who think I understand where you're coming from. It'll be nice to if Southampton beat Liverpool and knock them out, and we can all gloat this, that and the other. But you know what? I'm fed up of them mugging off. I'm gobbing off. I want to play them at Wembley in the League Cup final, and I want to beat them, because I think in the first leg at the first league game at Anfield, we for some reason parked the bus, and the second game at Old Trafford the other week, we didn't turn up. So I want to play Liverpool in the final. That's what excites me about this League Cup. I'm not really that excited about winning it. A trophy's a trophy, I understand that. We're in it, we should win it. I personally would have used some of the fringe players in the earlier rounds. We didn't. People can mock people like Arsenal and Chelsea because they didn't pick strong teams in the League Cup and they got knocked out early on. But that's what Manchester United are about. Manchester United are about using youth and fringe players and giving them a chance and blooding them. But Jose doesn't. But then we play Stoke and we don't pick our first team. It's weird what goes on sometimes, but we'll comfortably win this. I think we'll win it 2 or 3-0. Very, very, very confident about it. And I'd love to see Rashford up front. That just popped into my head there. I'd love to see Zlatan on the bench and play Rashford up front. Maybe Rashford will play up front against Wigan. That's my hope. I think Wigan at home, the safety of Old Trafford, they're not doing very well in the Championship. Maybe that's where he will give people like Shaw, Martial, Rashford up front a run out. Because I tell you what, if we don't see Luke Shaw or Anthony Martial in the next 2 games, I really would fear for their future at Manchester United, because I don't think we're going to get any more easy games on paper this season than what we've got in the next couple of games. Next round of the FA Cup, it's halved again. You'd expect good teams to be through. Obviously, we're through to the final of the League Cup. There's not going to be many more opportunities to give people a chance to prove themselves. So I really hope we see Luke Shaw and Martial over the next week. Tyrone Williams says Jose wants to get his first piece of silverware, but he regards the Charity Shield as silverware too. Yeah, I agree with that, Tyrone. Mad Marcus is talking to Drawty. We'd overtake Liverpool for trophies won. Interesting point. A bit like Rooney's record, really. I'd rather have points on in the league, but I've said it for a long time. We've spoken about it for a long time. He is very focused on winning these league titles, these League Cups, and I love Mourinho. Everyone knows I do, but I just wish I'd love to see Fosu Mensah play. I'd love to see Martial play. I'd love to see Luke Shaw play. I did see the Sir Alex Ferguson interview, Selwyn. Obviously very complimentary about Rooney. George Kyle has said that Martial and Shaw have told him they're staying. That's great news. We really need to give Liverpool a good spanking at Wembley, says Seb Williams. First time in a long time, I want Liverpool to win tomorrow, because we will beat Hull. We'll be in the final at Wembley. And I tell you what, I will be very excited about a final against Liverpool. This is the mentality with Manchester United. This is the winning mentality you get if you're a Manchester United fan. I don't want to duck and dive. I think we ducked and dived our way to the FA Cup final last year by getting favourable draws. I don't want to duck and dive. We've got some of the best players in world football. Granted, they're not consistent yet, but I want to play the best. And Liverpool aren't the best. I just want to beat Liverpool because they're rivals. But I don't want to duck and dive anymore. I'm fed up of that. I want to face up to people head on and go at them with what we've got. I want to play Liverpool in the final of the League Cup. I can't wait. I want to win these next 8 games in the league, and then I want to finish the season by beating Arsenal away, Man City away, and Chelsea at home. That's what we can do. That's what I want us to do. I've heard people moaning today about Jose Mourinho sacking the ball boys and replacing them with the under-16s. What we're not. This mentality has to change. We are not a fair football club where everyone can just come along and have a run out. This is Manchester United, and Jose Mourinho is implementing a winning mentality. In fact, I'm going to be a hypocrite here and say, you're saying he's implementing a winning mentality, but you're moaning about him not using the youth in the League Cup. Yes, I'm a hypocrite because Mourinho is a winner. We won't like all aspects of it, but he's a winner. He wants to win the League Cup. He's putting a strong team out. He wants the ball boys to move the ball quicker, so he's getting under-16s involved who are implemented into the club strategy and involved, and they feel part of the involvement of the first team. It's inbred. It's built into the squad, and that's what he's doing. If it's young lads who are normally ball boys, go and be a mascot. This is real time. This is Manchester United Football Club. This is Old Trafford. Let's do it properly. It's a winning mentality, and I back Mourinho when it comes to that. Little bits of rumours about Anthony Martial having a bad attitude, and lots of people backing Mourinho if he does have a bad attitude. Where do you sit on that? Attitude's great, but you've got to have the ability. Said this today, Fellaini gets picked because he's got a better attitude than Martial. Attitude should be a given, but if it was all down to attitude, I could pick 11 of you off the live comments and you'd be playing for Manchester United because you love the club and you'd have a strong attitude. You've got to have the ability as well. And very quickly, I just want to talk about this, the Manchester United Old Trafford, the movement of, the expansion of the disabled section into a certain area of the ground caused a lot of trouble today. People who've been moved, very frustrated. I back the club. I back the club on this one. I'm sorry. I know that they've moved them into the area where the seats are cheapest, but it's all right saying them move them to somewhere else or implement it somewhere else. Fans are going to have to get moved regardless. This is going to get implemented. Football is for everybody. Expansion of the disabled area is a positive thing. 99.something% of Old Trafford capacity is for able-bodied people. This is an opportunity for more disabled people to watch Manchester United play football. It's bad, it's frustrating for those people who are being moved. I understand that, but ultimately it's not an injustice. It is right. It is right. I totally empathise with those people who are being moved. It's frustrating, but the reality is football's for everybody, and a little bit of equality and expansion is a good thing. People can say, "Oh, you watch United from your bedroom." That's not what this is about. This is about a right decision made by the club. Yes, they could have done it in other areas. Yes, there's a massive argument about the pricing of football and what people pay, but that's nothing to do with this. This isn't anything to do with that. If you want to have a march or a protest about the prices in football, I'll be there with you. I totally agree. It's ridiculous the amount of money that comes in from Sky and sponsors and everything else like that, and year in year out, fans are still paying more money to go and watch football matches. That should be. There's so much money at Manchester United. There's so much money at all clubs. They should be rewarding those people who go to matches week in, week out, away matches, with cheaper tickets. I agree with that. But implementing more seats for disabled people at a level where they can get to. I mean, I've even heard somebody tweeting out today, put them at a higher level out of the way so we can all sing. And they weren't being derogatory to disabled people by saying put them out of the way. They just want to be in a situation where they can sing and they're close to the ground. But they're disabled. You can't put them up in the larks. They've got to be there. So it's a right decision. And I think this, suck it up and get on with it. Ultimately, I understand the frustration, but suck it up and get on with it. We're missing out on Carvalho. Trust, says Darth Vader. William Carvalho going to Liverpool. Let them have him. Let them have him. He's from Sporting Lisbon, isn't he? He's been linked to Manchester United and Arsenal for the last 5 summers. There's a big reason he's not come to Manchester United and Arsenal, and that's because he's not good enough. Let him go to Liverpool. We do need to increase the size of the stadium, 100%. We will actually be reducing this the capacity of Old Trafford from around 75,000 to 72,000 with this implementation of the disabled seating. So we're reducing our capacity. I can't see for the life of me why we aren't investing some of this massive pots of money we've got in expansion of Old Trafford. They would sell it out week in, week out with 90,000. They need to spend some money on the ground. I would actually sacrifice a big signing this summer to make the ground bigger, because that's what it's about. People want to watch Manchester United, and we should have a bigger ground. Mark, you look slightly high, says Young. I don't touch drugs. That's a terrible accusation. Old Draughty Devil, Old Trafford is potentially a 95,000 seater stadium. Fire Squad World, I'm a Millennium United fan. I don't think Sir Alex would allow that in his team. So Mark, if Martial has a bad attitude, he shouldn't play. Yeah, interesting one. I think Mourinho has been great for United. However, I don't like he doesn't play youth, says Anup. And Mark, any news on Griezmann, says Trevlin. He's going to sign in the summer. Simple as. What is your opinion on safe standing, Adrian Smith? Very good comment, and another frustration for some of the match-going fans, but the area that they're going to implement the disabled seating was an area they wanted to have safe standing. You know what? Safe standing, I don't want to go down this route because I was at Hillsborough, so I've seen what happens when it goes wrong, and ultimately safe standing, I'm not convinced by it, and ultimately it doesn't matter what I think on that. What does matter is if you're telling me that it's a choice between safe standing and giving more seats to disabled people, I'll go with the latter. You can disagree with me. I'm not speaking for the United stand. I'm not saying it's the right decision, but personally, I'm all about equality. I'm all about everybody having an opportunity to watch Manchester United, and I know exactly what it's like if you've got disabled relatives or friends or anything like that. Trying to get them into sporting arenas is very, very difficult, but they're as much a fan as anybody else, and they have every right to be there. And like I said, over 99% of the Old Trafford capacity is for able-bodied people. It should be more than that as far as I'm concerned, but the space, the money, it all factors in. But if you're telling me safe standing is more important than disabled people watching football, it simply isn't. Whether safe standing should be implemented at Manchester United or not, I don't know. It would help to increase the capacity. I take that on board. I used to go in the terraces as a kid, and the atmosphere is far, far better than one that you get in a seated stadium. But I've got an opinion on football grounds. I don't think hooliganism is dead. I think it's just suppressed by the media, and it takes place away from the grounds. In fact, I know it does. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's a very difficult situation. Thanks everybody for watching. Manchester United will beat Hull. Tomorrow night we've got a brand new show at 8:30. Joining us in for that. Watch along on Thursday. I'm literally going to be 5 minutes before I set up my stream on my channel. I just want to talk about money in football. I've had a couple of drinks, so I feel a bit loose-tongued. The link to the video description is in the video description. I think it's the second paragraph. I'll literally be there in 5 minutes. Come along over onto the Mark Goldbridge channel. We'll carry on the discussion. You can ask a few questions if you want, and I'll see you soon. But if not, this is the United Stand. We're back tomorrow at 8:30. Get comments in below, but I don't expect any big changes from Mourinho. We'll comfortably beat Hull, and I want Liverpool in the final. Get commenting about that. I want Liverpool in the final. Do you want Southampton? Let us know.